This is my review of The Sims 4 Seasons. This is a part of a series where I review every single Sims 4 pack, including all of the older ones. Seasons is a pack that brings you weather. If anything says capitalism is The Sims 4 Seasons, you're just paying for weather basically, along with some other seasonal activities and holidays. Starting off with the cast, it's mostly just seasonal wear and costumes, so costumes for different holiday events, and a lot of outdoor wear for hot weather and cold weather. I actually think a lot of the winter stuff is really nice. It comes with a lot of really nice jackets and really cute hats that your Sims can wear as well. I would say the summer stuff is okay. I do think it is a little bit bland, if I'm being honest. I don't feel like as much thought went into the summer stuff, but for what it's worth, this pack does actually contain a lot of nice stuff for kids and toddlers, because let's be honest, they always get left out. But when it comes to cast in the Sims 4 Seasons pack, they didn't really get left out. There's honestly quite a lot of really nice cool things for them. Granted, I do wish there were slightly more costumes, because obviously one of the key selling features of this pack is the holidays. Maybe we could have had some Halloween costumes or more crazy Christmas jumpers, for example. But in all, I would actually say the cast for this pack is really nice, so we're starting off moderately strong with a 7 out of 10. Moving on to the build buy, it contains a lot of stuff for most rooms. I wouldn't know what to call the theme of the build buy of this pack, but I guess it's kind of like a cozy log cabin theme. It has a lot of seasonal stuff and holiday items for most Western holidays, especially Christmas. It has honestly got so much Christmas stuff. A lot of the seasonal items, they actually have many different swatches to represent a lot of different holidays. So if you just hover over one item, you'll actually find that they represent a lot of different holidays. There are a lot of pre-made rooms that come with this pack, but unfortunately there's no pre-made houses. So if you're not a builder, you may have to download a user-made one off the gallery. In terms of a lot of the furnishings, I would admit a lot of the swatches are very clashy and they don't always complement the overall space very well, especially seeing that it's got quite a cozy theme. You would have expected more warm, neutral colors, but instead they're just really oddly bright. Having said that, I will say the build stuff, not the buy furniture stuff, but the actual build stuff like columns and wallpapers, these are all really nice with this pack, and all of the build buy is perfectly set up for any kind of holiday or tradition that you want to celebrate in the game. Just like with the cast, I'd say the build buy is moderately good. It's getting a 7 out of 10. Moving on to the world itself. Now, usually expansion packs come with a brand new world. This one didn't come with a world, but more so changed every other world. Obviously, this all relates to the seasons, so we have spring, summer, autumn, winter. Yes, I'm British, so I say autumn instead of fall. I know. So with the seasons pack, it affects literally every single world differently. Not every world has spring, summer, autumn, and winter. For example, if you go into Oasis Springs or you go into Solani, obviously they're not going to get harsh snows in winter, but what you do find is the world's experience weather and seasons related to where they are. So for example, in Solani you might have a thunderstorm now and then, but you won't have snow. In all of the standard worlds in spring, I would say it's mostly ugly because it always rains. I personally love rain, but I know a lot of people don't. All of the trees are dead, but they gradually get nicer over the seasons. It's not like a harsh cut off where they're suddenly dead to suddenly green. They do gradually change, and you'll often see flowers on the floor in spring. In summer, it just basically looks like the Sims 4 base game. All of the trees are green, everything is perfect. In autumn, of course, that's when you get all the autumn leaves come through. I love autumn in real life. It's my second favorite season. All the trees start to die, but then they all go orange, and it's just really lovely. And then of course you've got winter. I am a very big fan of Christmas, so I am biased here. I love the way winter looks in The Sims 4. I wouldn't say it's the best winter of every single Sims game, but for what it's worth, it is honestly incredible, especially at night time. There's honestly something so magical about the way the winter looks, and I absolutely love it. This is just a conspiracy, but I think the main reason why we have so many American suburban worlds in The Sims 4 is just because it's easy to apply the exact same weather effects over and over again to every single world. From that perspective, it is slightly unrealistic in that every single world is just affected basically in the exact same way, and it doesn't really feel like every single world interacts with the seasons pack differently, but more so it just feels like the same seasonal paint over all of them, apart from the hot worlds like Oasis Springs and Solani. Obviously, it's a shame that we didn't get a separate world with this pack, because we did before, for example, in The Sims 3, but for what it's worth, the way that the seasons pack affects the worlds does genuinely change the game and make the world significantly more dynamic. Like literally literally all of the worlds. But of course, we didn't get a separate one, and all of the worlds are basic American suburban mining towns, so it doesn't add that much variety, but it's nice. So it's getting another 7 out of 10 for the world. Next up, the most important part, which is gameplay. Of course, with every season comes weather changes. Of course, with weather changes, it becomes hot or cold, so this pack comes with a thermostat to either raise or lower the temperature of your house, which can affect your Sims mootlets, but also their bill. This pack actually comes with some nice stuff for kids and teens. Finally, we got a new swing set for kids. We don't actually have one in the base game, so it is nice to have a swing set finally in the game. The pack also comes with scouts for kids and teens. This is actually a really great feature, so you basically have to call the phone and become a scout like you would become in a normal career. You get given a scouting board when you do, and the scout board is full of different badges, and in order to earn the badges you have to do different things. For example, one of them was to create holiday craftables, so I got my sim to make some holiday craftables relating to the different seasons, and then they got their badge for it. I personally think it adds a lot of challenge to the game for kids and teens. Obviously, we don't really have much challenge or anything for them so far, so I honestly think it's a really great step forwards. And once your kids or teens actually reach the highest scouting rank, they contain the lifelong scouting aptitude reward trait, which boosts all skill gains by 25%, which I think is actually quite a lot. Weirdly though, I did find that the badges don't apply to the outfit, the scouting outfit, which I thought was a little bit unrealistic and a little bit shallow, but for what it's worth, I think it's a nice gameplay idea. As with every pack in The Sims 4, there is absolutely no unique gameplay for toddlers. In terms of general activities that adults can do as well, there's now a brand new flower arranging ability. It comes with a flower arranging table, and you can literally create any kind of flowers at all. It's really, really nice. You can create flowers for your home, or you can sell them as a career choice, which is quite fun. It is compatible with My Wedding Story to make wedding bouquets, and it's also compatible with Nifty Knitting to sell them on Plopsy. We also have beekeeping skill. You can actually make and sell honey and look after bees. I find looking after bees in The Sims 4 hilarious, because if you don't look after them very well, they become very hostile and they will sting passers-by, which is incredibly hilarious. Of course, with seasonal changes come changes to gardening. Now when you plant flowers, they will be exclusive to certain seasons. You can no longer grow anything in any season anymore. I actually really like this because it does add a layer of challenge to the game. If you do really enjoy the gardening part of The Sims, this pack is honestly really, really important for that. It also comes with a brand new scarecrow. At face value, it's just a normal scarecrow, but when you click on him, you can actually do certain interactions with him. After building up a relationship level with him, you can actually start asking him for gardening tips to raise up your gardening skill, and you can collect seed packets from him. Eventually, he'll also actually start coming off his stick and actually just walk around your house like a normal townie. Yes, you can woohoo with him. I know that's what you're thinking. And yes, you can add him to the family. Obviously, with different seasonal changes, you are able to change the weather yourself. There is a weather control device. The device may electrocute you and actually kill your Sims if you do it in the wrong way, but you can literally use it to change to any weather, which is incredibly useful, and it can be upgraded with the handiness skill. Originally, this pack actually came with the calendar, but of course now the calendar is base game. The only real addition the seasons pack adds to the calendar is the holiday system. Holiday traditions are a brand new way to add events into your game, such as Halloween or Christmas or Easter. You can also add a lot of different custom holidays too. Holidays kind of work like events, like parties in The Sims 4, where in the top left corner you'll have different things to do. I made my Sims do an Easter event, and they had to collect Easter eggs by looking in bushes and things. They could also ask the Easter Bunny for eggs, or in my Sims case, fight the Easter Bunny. As well as the set holidays, obviously you can make your own ones. Now, a lot of them are very generic. For example, worship an object. It should work for most people. If you're not from Western cultures, maybe you'll be able to find a way to make your holiday appropriate in the game. But in general, it is geared more towards Western holidays. I do wish there were a lot more options, especially when you look at packs like Get Together, which have so many different activities for clubs. I almost wish they'd update the seasons pack a lot more with different holidays, but in general, I would say there is enough. Unfortunately, some of the holiday events do become very tedious after coming up multiple times. For example, there's a national lottery thing that pops up all of the time. There's a brawl day where your Sims just want to fight. There's a prank day. Like, some of them do get a little bit annoying, but luckily you can disable them in the settings or via the calendar. If you complete all of the event activities for the holidays, it either becomes successful or unsuccessful, but to be honest, there's no real consequences either way. Therefore, it is unfortunately a little bit of a shallow feature. Of course, when holidays do come up, you want to decorate. There is actually a holiday decoration box, which when you rummage for decorations, you can actually find a lot of different decorations for the holiday. Rummaging for decorations is weirdly OP and needs to be nerfed, because you can actually just rummage unlimited for everything and then just sell them at like full price to make loads of money. But at least it's an easy way to actually find the decorations. You can also decorate your entire house too using this box, and also all of the other houses as well get decorated in your neighborhood, which is cool. Looking at the weather in spring, obviously it rains, so if your Sims go outside, they will get very wet and annoyed. You can also have thunderstorms. Yes, they can be electrocuted and die. There is actually an umbrella mechanic. You can actually get an umbrella stand and set your Sim to automatically open umbrella when they go outside, which is quite nice. In summer, we get heat waves, so your Sims need to cool down. You can cool down in the paddling pool or by having water balloon fights. I will admit the water balloon fight mechanic is very awkward and they look very strange just standing around idly throwing these water balloons. Of course, if they get too hot, they can die of a heat wave and they can literally burn to death, which is rather fun. In autumn, you can actually rake a lot of the leaves up in autumn, and yes, you can woohoo in the leaves. Apart from that though, I wouldn't say there's really that much special to do in autumn. Of course, winter is the cream of the crop. In winter it snows. The snow isn't like deep like it was in previous Sims games, but there are a lot of different interactions. So for example, you can build snowmen. My Sim built an emo snowman of all things. You can also destroy them if you're feeling like a bitch, and you can make snow angels, and you can have snowball fights. And yes, the snowball fights are just as awkward as the water balloon fights. In certain areas such as the Willow Creek Park, they actually spawn a skating rink. In winter, however, it turns into an ice skating rink. You can actually customize it with different music and other effects, which is cool. And yes, you can also freeze to death in winter if your Sims get too cold. Of course, one of the best things about winter is Christmas Day. You can do things like get your Sims to awkwardly sing towards the Christmas tree. You can open presents. There's actually an interaction to open them early, which is kind of funny. Father Winter Comes, which is the PC version of Father Christmas or Santa Claus, just with the Easter Bunny with the Easter eggs. You can either ask him politely for presents or you can fight for them. Yes, you can woohoo with him, and yes, you can have a baby with him. The baby will actually have a special Father Winter trait, which means that they gain skills faster, which is kind of cool. I will say the gameplay of this pack is definitely enriching, but it's not groundbreaking. Apart from weather, which is not technically really gameplay, all we really got was the holiday traditions and a few other random interactions. But for what it's worth, I do really love the gardening overhaul that came with this, and it contains a lot of random miscellaneous activities which I think are fun, but it's not an outstanding pack that you're going to be like, I want to play The Sims 4 Seasons today. It's more so just a background pack full of background noise to make your gameplay just generally more enhanced. Because of that, I'm going to give the gameplay of this pack a 7 out of 10. It is important to look at performance because The Sims 4 is a glitchy game. In general, I didn't find anything wrong other than the umbrella is broken and won't open and close correctly, but that's the only thing, so it's getting a 9 out of 10 for performance. In terms of cross-pack compatibility, when you're actually making flowers, you can actually make them for My Wedding Stories and make proper wedding bouquets. Of course, you can also sell the flowers, for example, with the Get to Work pack or Nifty Knitting pack. You can do the exact same thing with honey as well, which is cool. Scouts weirdly earn fame for collecting badges if you own the Get Famous pack, but one of the biggest issues for me is that the holidays are just not really updated for other packs, and there are not really that many other cross-pack compatible things. As I said, the worlds are all basically the same, so it's just the same seasonal effect applied to all of them. With the Snowy Escape pack or the Island Living pack or Jungle Adventure pack, maybe they could have added holiday traditions from those cultures with seasons, but they didn't. Maybe they could have also added some special holiday interactions for the occult Sims, but they didn't do anything with occults really in this pack. I just didn't really feel like it went far enough, especially seeing that the whole point of this pack is supposed to be a general undertone underneath all of the other packs. There definitely should have been a lot more cross-pack compatibility, so it is only getting a 6 out of 10 for cross-pack play. This part of the review is where I give my overall opinion and conclusion to the pack, so in general it's getting a 7 out of 10. Guys, this is just a normal seasons pack. It contains seasonal stuff. The pack is terribly overpriced but adds a depth to the baseline of the gameplay. Now the base game, or already has the calendar, which was previously exclusive to the Seasons pack, the pack doesn't really have that much use other than just weather, especially seeing that we already have a lot of seasonal worlds in the game. For example, Snowy Escape has winter and the Island Living World has sun. Weather is something that should be base game. I don't want to hear, I love that we have Seasons pack. Guys, it's a life simulation game, like we should just have weather as like a default. So yeah, I think it's incredibly overpriced, but The Sims 4 has always been a very capitalistic cash grabby game under EA. So if you really want weather in your game and you can afford it, I genuinely think it's a really great enhancement to your game. Of course, now we do have the calendar in the base game, there's already a concept of time. It's just whether or not you actually want to have the weather and seasons in your game and you want to have the holiday traditions. But in general, I really like it and I'm really glad that I got the Seasons pack. I do enjoy using it. If I was poor and I had to like really decide what packs that I wanted, I probably would have gone for a more solid gameplay pack rather than Seasons. But if you can afford it, guys, get it. It will enhance your game. I update my Brutally Honest review playlist every single Monday, so make sure you check out the playlist here. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.